Atelier Mariekuniek podcast. Welcome. Today I'm all about knitting socks, blankets, sweaters and also some other crafty stuff. Interested? Keep watching. Hi, my name is Marieke. I live in the Netherlands in a small village near Amsterdam. I'm a mother of two adult children, married to Albert, and I work at the Rudolsteiner College in Haarlem. In this episode I would like to talk about a lot of knitting. Old projects, new projects and projects I am going to start. And some other crafts I've been doing lately, but it's mostly about knitting. So let's get started. And I will start with what I'm wearing, and that's the bright sweater I talked about in last episode. This is the one in Moeke Yarns, and when I was taking him out of his hiding place because I couldn't find him at first, I discovered some holes. Some I already mended, but one I like to, that's here. So I need to mend that later on today, because as I told you before, this is one of my most favorite sweaters. It's perfect for the weather in the Netherlands. In this episode I would like to talk about my knitting and some old projects I have on the go. The first one is of course the other bright sweater. The pattern is by Junko Akumoto, and it's not a very inclusive pattern because it's only in one size, but the size is perfect for me, as you can tell. I already showed you the sweater last week, but as I told you, I wanted to start on the sleeve, and here's where I am so far. It's not a quick knit, but that doesn't matter because I love to knit every once in a while on a sweater and not constantly, so it will be finished sometimes, but I don't have an end date in mind. Oh, sorry, my ball is on the go. So that's the progress I made since last week on my bright sweater. Then the other thing I finished is repairing my socks. I told you before the Hermione socks had some holes, and I repaired those in the heel with a mattress stitch. Is that the mattress stitch? I don't know for sure. But this other hole at the toe I found a bit difficult, so I repaired it a little bit old-fashioned way with a weaving stitch. So those are ready to be worn. And then I have another finished object, and that are my scrappy socks. As you can see, they're both finished and I totally love them. I don't know what to tell you more than what I told you last week, so I only showing you the finished ones. Ready to wear also. And the next project I am talking about is a new cast on. And that's my new sock. Because yeah, I finished the last one, so I started a new one. They are supposed to be for my son, which is, he's like 2 meters. So he's a head above me, normally. And he has size 46, sorry. I'm not sure which size that is in American or English sizes, so I will put it down somewhere. Anyhow, he's very long and very thin, and he also have very thin legs. So I did the same size as I would cast on as I would for myself, which is 46 stitches, and I'm knitting. Let's show that at first. I'm knitting from the socks book from Kirsten Balke, and I am knitting socks number 20, which are these, and I am knitting them on 2.5 needles for the collar work, but I knit the cuff on 225 because yeah, I'm a loose knitter and I was scared if I would knit it on 2.5 needles it would be way too wide in comparison with the part with the collar knit. And this is how far I get. Oh, let's move that thread out of the way. I love the pattern. So I used blue as the main color, so it's reverse from the ones in the book. My son chose this color, he wanted the blue, and so I combined it with this one, so a blue one and this one, and I'm not sure which yarn it is because again there wasn't a band anymore. The only thing I do know, but I have to check because the band isn't in my bag here. I go and look up the yarn. I found the yarn. It's durable sock yarn, and the colorway, not sure if you can read it, it's Samba Spins. I think the blue yarn is durable as well, but I don't have the band, so I don't know the color number. Anyhow, last night I uploaded the last video. Today is Tuesday, and it took me a while to edit the video, so I recorded it I think a week and a half ago, so it took me that much time to edit and make the movies available. Hopefully this time I will be a little bit quicker. Anyhow, I started this project I think last Thursday, something like that, and it was a fun knit, so it went very fast. I am a bit scared that my son will not fit in these because he has very small legs, but his heel is pretty big. His feet are as well, but the rest of him is very thin, so I hope there will be enough stretch for his heel to go through. If not, then I will try them on later today. If not, then they will be for me, and he has to wait on socks a little bit longer. Anyhow, socks number 22, was it? 20 from the socks book. And then to the next project, and that is a very old project. I am knitting some blankets, and I have been knitting these for a long time. They have been lingering for a long time, I should say. So this is my project. It is the Vivid blanket from Tink and Knits. Here's the original, very colorful. And I am knitting it out of Rennie Super Soft, which I can buy in my neighborhood. And they have all kinds of lovely colors, and you can buy as much as you need of the ball, of the cone. So yeah, that's a wonderful way. So I don't have to buy everything at once. I can buy whenever I want to. And here are the colors I use. Anyhow, here are my finished blocks already. So I have this much already, and those are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 blocks. This is the one with the yellow. I have only one with dark green. So I don't know where the rest of that ball is, because I'm pretty sure there was more. One with of white. Light green. And some blue, which I think is my favorite. Although the greens I like as well. So it's a fun knit. You start small, because you knit from the middle to from the center out, and there's this lovely pattern in the middle. It is a knit you have to be careful with, so I don't have knitted on it much, simply because, yeah, it's a mindful knit. That's what it is. So it's easy and slowly going, but that's okay. I don't need a blanket at once. We do have some other blankets on the couch for winter time, so this is just for fun to knit. I like to knit the patterns, like the lace patterns. I think that's so much fun to do. So yeah, it will take a lot of time before it's finished, but it will be finished at one point. Anyhow, I also have another project started, and that's a blanket as well, and that's a scrappy blanket, because I had so many small balls in my sock yarn basket I showed you last episode. So I thought maybe I should also knit a scrappy blanket. So here is this. I started this weekend just for fun, and here's what I have so far. So here's my little ball of scraps for the scrappy blanket. And that's already is a lot of wool, but to have a complete blanket you need so much more. So I was wondering if there's somebody out there who would like to do a swap. If you send me 20 grams of scraps, it doesn't have to be one color, it may be several colors, just what you have as scraps. Send them to me, and in return you will receive one of my stitch markers. I will put in a little film showing you the markers while I'm talking. If you're interested in swapping with me, please leave a comment below or send a PM, and then in return I will give you my address so you can send me the wool, and please put your address in as well so I can return one of the stitch markers to you. If you have a preference of one of the stitch markers, I will put in a picture right here with the numbers. So put down the number you like to receive in return, and it's first one first goes, something like that. Anyhow, yeah, let's see how this works out. In the meantime, I have enough to keep on knitting, so I will. My scrappy blanket. And then knit-wise, there are some new acquisitions, because this Thursday starts the Twist and Turns West Knits knit-along, and I haven't done a knit-along in a long time, and I thought I need a shawl for my to go with my winter coat. So I decided to treat myself. So my daughter and me, we went to Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam, because why? It's a Stephen and Stephen knit-along, a West Knits knit-along, so where to go for your yarn? Stephen and Penelope, of course. So I will show you what I bought. This is my color choice for the knit-along. Yeah, it's Mominoki. I'm not sure if I pronounce it well, but this is the yarn. A brown color. I do have a brown jacket, so that's why I chose to do the brown colors. I have two of those, and I bought Sizzler Rigid. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but here's the color. This color is head over heels, and this color is chestnut. And because this already was very expensive, and I had one skein of undyed BFL, I decided that would be the contrast color. So yeah, here you go. I love it. So that's what I will be doing. And I don't have a ball winder, so I make my balls by hand using, and I don't know where I left it, using my nasterpinner. And I don't have an official nasterpinner, so what I did is I used how do you call it? A kwast. What's kwast in English? Let's look it up. A brush. While I'm talking, there will be a little movie going on with how I use it. But this is a brush, and I took off the brush part and only kept the handle and yeah, did some tape around it. And this is what I use to make my balls. So I will be using that to make the balls for the knit along. That's all I wanted to talk about knitwise. But let's check my notes, what I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, something completely different. Something I did about 2 weeks ago with my work, with school. There was a festival going on for all the Waldorf schools, the high schools in the Netherlands, and it was held in the open air museum in Arnhem, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. So we went there with a bus and spent the whole day with all kinds of things. You had to enlist in some courses, and one I did was with the Craft Council. And the Craft Council is an organization here in Holland who is promoting handcrafts and such. They have all kinds of courses going on for teachers, but also for children. And I applied for a small course, which was the Linen Project. And the Linen Project, they told us a little bit about the project they had going on to make the linen themselves. So from being the farmer's part, growing the fibers, to the finished project. And so that's what they told us a lot about. And I got this card from them, which told a lot about their project and the fact you can buy the linen, but it's pretty expensive, because the main goal of this project is that everyone in that list of people who farm and the weavers and everything in between will get a fair price for their work. That's what this is about. And I thought it was a wonderful information. We also, part of the course was that we would embroider on very old linen. This is antique, so that's very special. And during that course we were hand sewing, embroidering this linen with initials, like they have done in the past. I've never done embroidering initials before. I did a lot of embroidering, which I will show another time. But I really enjoyed myself that day. In the morning, that was the afternoon activity. In the morning we had a tour around the crafts places into the museum. In the museum, so we visited the laundry house and were with someone who told us everything what went down in the past in the laundry house. So that was very informative. And we also, he told us a lot about the little toll house, which was turned into a weaving mill, and still is used in that way. We visited the bakery, the old-fashioned bakery. He also told us a lot about the sawmill, and also explained how the old wooden wheels were made in the past. That it was all cold connected, and the iron band around the wheel was the thing that keeps everything together, but it wasn't, there wasn't any gluing of sorts going on. So that was very interesting. I didn't know that. Anyway, we had a lovely day, and I sure as hell would visit the park again, because I haven't seen as much as a very small portion of the museum. So that was everything I wanted to talk about that day. And the last thing I wanted to share was a little bit of inspiration, a podcast I came across, which is called My Imperfect Knitting Life. She is in New Zealand and has started a podcast very recently also. And she bought a little mill, a yarn mill, and she is sharing what she is knitting, but also she wants to share how the whole process with the mill will be going. So that's very interesting to follow somebody who starts from knowing nothing about how to make the yarn, but still has bought a mill. Yeah, that's what I liked about that podcast. And that's, I think, all I wanted to talk about for this week. So I hope I wasn't rambling too much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That would be so much fun. And I started to read and reply to all the comments you leave. So thanks so much for the people who already commented on my last videos. I will try to do my best to reply from now on. I haven't done so the last couple of years, so I have to do better. Anyhow, this is what I wanted to talk about this week, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!